Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to Prophecy of Pendor. Now, when we left off, we had just defended Poinsbrook from an overwhelming assault by the Jatu, but thankfully enough, we have, of course, now cornered them in a very, very brutal way. And so, we are going to be assaulting these guys as much as we can, of course, and hopefully we will be able to retrieve many of their prisoners. Now, of course, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to probably be doing maybe 1 or 2 rounds more. It really depends on the average number of troops that we can defeat while doing so, because of course we do want to make sure that we gain a good amount of prisoners, and I'm actually unsure whether the Vekavians can actually retrieve the prisoners. So if they can't, I'm going to have a pretty decent, shall we say, backup plan. You know, we don't really want to have all of them be lost, do we? So, yes, let us now get ready. Of course, we do have a pretty even battle on our hands here. We have 0 battle advantage, so yeah, they actually still have a reasonable amount of cavalry as well, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but we also have 19? Of course, because we have the Vekavians on our side, it's kind of a little bit irritating because now we don't really have the opportunity to control our own units. Instead we have to make do with theirs, and I have no idea how many we have, so it's a little bit frustrating there, but, well, I suppose we will try our very best. I think we should probably be absolutely fine, but you never know. Sometimes they can come back out of nowhere just because you make a mistake, or they decide, oh, we're gonna charge, or we're gonna just hold position and bombard you with arrows like they're doing now, for example. Yes, that usually is the way it goes. Okay, so let's charge in our cavalry to the side here. I'm gonna try and actually get our infantry to come into their archers if possible. I mean, that would actually be quite good. Ooh, yes, there we go. Take out their Ravenstern units if we can as well, because they have a huge amount of these guys. I mean, really, we need to take them out as soon as possible, otherwise they're just going to wreak havoc against us really, really much. Oh, no. That is not good, and they do have two-handed swords as well. Bear that in mind. These guys can actually deal some pretty significant damage in melee combat as well, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to at least tackle some of these. Ooh, some of them are actually rangers too. So, yes, they are very, very deadly. Ooh, yes, yeah, okay. Be a little bit more careful, thank you very much, Beartild. We really do not want you to be eliminated, do we? No, not at all. Okay, come on now. So, yes, everything seems to be going fine so far, but you never know. I mean, we could get a reinforcement wave from our opponents here with a huge amount of very, very high tier units. They do have, I believe, who is it now? They actually have some very, very good units. I looked down in their list just before we started here, and they have some high-tier units of some sort, but I actually can't remember the names of them. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It will be a surprise. Yes, it will be a surprise, and let's just hope that we actually... Oh, yeah, they have seer favorites. Yeah, never mind. They're actually not as powerful as I imagined that they were, so I think we should be absolutely fine. But, of course, I do need to help this fellow. I need to help this Ravenstern noble knight if I can. He has a lance, so maybe it's kind of pointless to help him because he's probably just going to die anyway. I mean, lances, once you're off your horse, you may as well just sign your death warrant as it is. So, yeah. Well, I guess it's okay because, well, we could just take out as many of these guys as we desire, really. I mean, they are not really putting up too much of a fight, are they? Yes, they must have not had any tea today, because, well, I've certainly had mine, and, ooh, ouch, thank you very much. Yeah, well, they can still be dangerous, that's the thing, you can't get overconfident, and as we know, that is my weakness. I do tend to get overconfident when we are obliterating the opponent, and it actually happens more often than not. I know, it's amazing to think that I could get overconfident. Yeah, it happens very easily in actual fact, and I'm sure it happens to many people. So, definitely want to watch out for that, and it can actually really take you unawares when that one crossbowman or that one throwing weapon specialist decides, hey, you know what, I think that guy could use a javelin in his face. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. So, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we took out 167, okay? So we took out 167, so let's have a look. Okay, so we can definitely do another round here. And then we're probably gonna should we say lose about 150 of our units, and then we'll go in again. So let's try and see whether this is actually going to work, because these things are always a little bit sketchy because they don't really make it that easy to track enemy units. So I'm kind of a little bit dubious about doing this because, well, I don't really want to lose the Jatu army, and I don't actually want one of our... Well, actually, it wouldn't be that bad if our vassals decided, hey, you know what, I seem to see a couple of prisoners over there, and by a couple, I mean over 2,400 of them. So, yes, if one of our vassals decided to actually, shall we just say, butt in to our particular fight here, then that actually wouldn't be a bad thing. If they were able to defeat them, then obviously we would have a very, very powerful vassal, but of course then that vassal would literally be able to do nothing. Absolutely nothing, because of course I don't believe they have... Do they have a limit? Do they actually have a limit? I don't think they have an army limit, so that would potentially be a problem, because of course this is the reason why I say that they would be absolutely useless. Everyone would run away from them because no one would think, oh yes, I can definitely take that guy with over 2,000 units. Yeah, no one would ever think that, and no one would even try to attack him, and in return he or she actually, because it could be a Donya actually around here. She does, I think, have a fief in the area, and it could be that they then move so slow that no one could ever be caught by them. So that is in fact a problem as well. That's usually the reason, partially the reason, should I say, that I don't go to great lengths to actually get prisoners for our vassals and our mercenary companies, because even though it is really spectacular to see a vassal or NPC of some sort have that many units under their command, it is usually not very practical and actually not deadly at all, unless someone gets trapped. And in that case, well, yes, then they are just gonna say goodbye, basically, yes. So yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess, but obviously it's a double-sided sword. Double-sided? Really? Double-edged sword. Yes, a double-edged sword, thank you very much. Yes, exactly. It is a double-edged sword, so yeah, that's usually why I don't invest too much time in it, but, well, I think it's kind of a good idea to do that for a defender, because, of course, the defender is just going to be running around scaring everyone, and he's going to be like, oh, hello there, I'm going to attack you with my many, many units, and you're not going to be able to take this fief, and all that kind of thing. I mean, that's actually sounding pretty good, and that's partially why I'm doing it right now, because I feel like a nice defender in our territory right now would really make a huge difference, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, there we go. We have eliminated yet another about 150 or so units. Yeah, 156, and now there is only 116 remaining, which is exactly what we want to see. So, we are going to be running away from these guys. 2,472. Insane amounts. Insane amounts. Okay, so, let's put... What are we going to put in the garrison here? I think we're going to put in Knights of the Raven Spear, and Raven Spear Mercenaries, Empire Knights. We have 138 now. Is that enough? I think that might be enough, because we do have the Vekavians on our side as well. So I think we're also probably going to be losing a couple of the random units that we have. And let's see, what are we going to lose here? That's the thing. I think Lemon Knights and Milk Sergeants can probably go too. The Malians Heavy Cavalry. We now have 97. This might be a little bit close for my liking, but I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do that. There we go. So now we're moving very, very quickly indeed. Where? Oh, there's the Vekavians. Okay, good. Let's head in. Okay, so this should be excellent. So we have 229, they have 119, so this should be absolutely fine, and we still have a pretty reasonable caliber in our army, because obviously that's the main problem that we're having right now, the caliber. And I've spoken about that previously in other episodes, where it's basically the bleedage or bleeding effect that you will always get if you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to attack all those guys, and then you end up losing a bunch of your own very elite units, and then you recruit, or should I say rescue, prisoners that are much lower caliber. And that causes a great deal of problems. So, yeah, okay. I think I'm just going to be charging everyone in, actually, because they have such a few amount of units right here that we should be able to just overwhelm them. And due to the caliber of their units, as you can see, they mainly have farmers now. Of course, these farmers, they are probably going to kill me. Knowing my luck, they are probably going to kill me in some way. They're probably going to be like, ooh, yes, I have my huge pole in my hands here, and I'm going to hit someone in the face with it, and unfortunately that's most likely going to be me at some point. So I'm going to try and avoid that from happening right now. I mean, look at this. This guy has a spear in his hands. Pretty sure he would have used that against us and probably killed me in one hit. That is usually how it goes. So let's try and avoid that. Ooh, they have some Gordon Freemans here. Well, not anymore. We just eliminated the one Gordon Freeman that they had, I believe. Ooh, they actually have a Shadow Legion Centurion too. Oh, no, never mind. That is an Empire Knight. But they do become Shadow Legion Centurion, so I suppose that's pretty nice for them. Wow. Oh, they actually do have a number of Gordon Freemans, apparently. Okay, that's pretty nice. But otherwise, it seems like we have attained victory. Yes, there's only 30 enemies remaining, and that should be easy enough to deal with. So, yes, that's actually looking pretty nice. And then we'll be able to rescue, I think probably the most prisoners I've ever seen. I know, that's actually kind of hard to believe. I think maybe there has been a time when I saw a party of over 3,000 prisoners. And maybe, wait a minute, am I forgetting something? I think maybe in Perisno there was this time when I think one of the enemy NPCs, somewhat of a unique spawn, not really a unique spawn, but I think one of those really powerful guys had over 6,000? I have no idea. I think I may be misremembering that, but whatever the case, having any number above 1,000 is always absolutely fantastic, especially when you are the one rescuing all the prisoners, of course. So, here we go. Here's the opportunity that we have waited for quite some time. So, what are we going to be getting here? Well, some Dragon Drakes might be actually pretty nice. Let's see. Now, what else can we get here? Well, let's just see. Some Kier Guards, they're not particularly good. They have 154 mercenary armsmen. Definitely don't want to be taking those, thank you very much. Ooh, Maiden Cavalry. Now, they might actually be worth it. We do have some Knights here as well. I really do like the Maiden Cavalry. I know a number of you actually said, why do you like the Maiden Cavalry so much? And, well, the main reason why I like them so much is because they become these. Yeah, you can kind of see why I like them. They have ranged capability, and they also have a very heavily armored horse, as well as very heavy armor themselves. So it's really, really cool to see those in action, and it does take a little bit of time to level them up. That is, of course, true, but in the end, they are obviously just unstoppable, in my opinion. They really do so much damage, and they are a very, very good unit to have in your army. So that's primarily the reason. Ooh, some Barclay Sappers and some Larian Outriders as well. Shadow Legion Marinus units, I don't really want to take those, to be honest. I mean, they're not that good, in actual fact. They are not that good because they don't have shields, and they run around with pole arms, and that in a siege is absolutely terrible. Pendor Black Archers, I am going to be taking those, though. Thank you for that. Okay, some Jatu Raiders. Is that it? It seemed like a lot more, and they seem to actually have better units than this. So I'm kind of a little bit worried, because I thought maybe they had some Shadow Legion units, or maybe, of course I know we can't rescue Noldor, but something relatively similar to that level, but apparently not. Apparently not. So what do we need? Well, let's just take a Squire of the Lion, I suppose. Mist Mountain Shaman, why not? Let's take some of those as well. Raven Spear Mercenaries. I'm basically just trying to take as many, well, shall we say cavalry units as I can. Now, the main problem with, of course, taking cavalry units is that they are not great in sieges, but, see, that's the thing. There's not actually many infantry that are any good here. I mean, we have some heavy infantry there, but yeah, I saw some Legionnaires as well. I might actually be taking some Legionnaires. Ooh, some Armored Crossbowmen. I do like those. I do like those quite a bit. Okay, so that's basically it. Do you see that? That's all. Do they have some Rangers? Yeah, they do have some Rangers, so I guess I'll take some of those. And some Mounted Rangers as well. The Kier Guards are actually not that bad, so I might actually be taking those anyway because we do have the space. And, yeah, I mean, look at that. We have about 111 spaces remaining. So it would be quite nice to actually maybe get a couple more high-level units. Maiden Cavalry is still calling to me, basically, but what else is there? I mean, Huskars, they're not actually that good. I mean, I could take them, I suppose. But what else do we have? What else do we have? Ah, Empire Legionnaires. Yes, that's exactly who I wanted to take. And I guess I could take these guys, but it's kind of pointless in my opinion. They're actually not that good. I could take the Melitene Infantry and Archers, because they are unique units, kind of. So it's kind of nice to see them in action, I guess. Ooh, Barclay Heavy Footmen. I almost missed those. That would have been absolutely terrible. And, yes, there's not much more here. Some Armored Bowmen, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to take those Maiden Cavalry because that will definitely fill out our army reasonably well. And they are going to level up pretty swiftly as well. Okay, so there you go. So we only have a couple of spaces remaining. We could get some of these or Mist Mountain. Rogue Blackheart Squires I think would be absolutely fine. And Empire Horsemen. I think they might actually become something, and we'll just take a couple of Empire Heavy Infantry. That's basically it. So it's kind of a bit disappointing, really. I mean, I really thought they were actually going to give us much more, but, well, whatever the case, let's just tackle as many of these captured enemies as I can. Wow, we actually have 70. That's actually pretty nice. Okay, so, yeah, we'll just take as much as we can. That's really, oh my goodness, the loot is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But there it is. The Vekavians now have almost 900 units. So, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We divided them pretty nicely. Where did all the units go, though? Maybe that is the limit as to how many they can actually take, but I actually didn't see over 2,000. I mean, literally, I did not see over 2,000 in that party screen, so I can only assume that there is a limit to how many can be displayed there. But whatever the case, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.